It's always a slightly uncomfortable conversation, but it's not an unbearable conversation.
Originating from deep inside the Rocky Mountains, transported through the power of the internet, and arriving inside your tiny earbuds. It's the Appraiser Coach Podcast.
Minisode.
The topic today is burning in my soul, as they say, because it is fresh on my mind. I just barely got off the phone with a new employee and had to have a very difficult conversation with this individual. When you have to have those conversations in your office, who does it? Whose responsibility is it? As the business owner, is it yours? What if you have an office manager? What if you have human resources? Now, I know I'm talking to appraisers here, and very few have a big office, but I still think the question is viable. Who does what, and what is the role of individuals within your office? I want to pause here, remind you that we're sponsored by Anow Software. Anow is it's on the cloud. It's everywhere. I was going to say software. It is software, but it's on the cloud. It's anywhere you have an internet connection, and you can stay in touch with the office and what they're doing. And right now, you can try Anow Software for 30% off for 3 months if you use the coupon code podcast30. It's anow.com and coupon code podcast30. I just got off the phone, as I was mentioning, with an individual. She's only been with us a few days, but she's struggling. And she's showing signs that, I don't know if this is going to work out. I want it to. I have high hopes for her. I have faith in her. But there are enough red flags that I wonder. I've been doing this long enough that I've learned to recognize those red flags. I've also, to my credit, been doing this long enough to know that sometimes red flags go away quickly. Like there's several, and I mentioned this to my office manager here over the last couple of days as we've struggled knowing what to do. And the idea is, I've seen individuals that I wanted to let go even 3 months into it, and I held out, and I was glad I did. There are people that still work for me that I could give you the names right now off the top of my head. 3 people that, in the beginning, if I had a gun to my head and I said, yay or nay, let's, fish or cut bait, it would have been cut bait. It would have been, forget it, this isn't going to work. And I'm glad I didn't. So I've learned to give people the benefit of the doubt and help them, and as long as they are progressing, even albeit slow, that they may be able to still stay on with this long term, but sometimes these conversations have to be had, and it may not necessarily be with someone new. It may be somebody that's been there a long time. And these conversations might look like this. Hey, Joan, let's talk. How do you think things are going? I usually like to start it that way because I want them, because they usually know if there's a problem, right? And I want it to come from their perspective so that we can talk rather than me calling up and saying, hey, we got a problem, right? It's more, hey, Joan, I just want to call and check in with you to see how things are going on your side. Oh, well, I think pretty good. Okay, good. Why do you think they're going good? Well, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm learning this, I'm learning that. Okay, great. What isn't going well in your mind? Oh, well, and 99% of the time they bring up the exact same stuff that I'm concerned about. So it's an easy introduction into that conversation, right? Oh, okay, so you're struggling with such and such. By the way, I've noticed that as well. Let's talk through that. How can we solve that problem, right? And it usually is not, I was going to say it's not an uncomfortable conversation, but it always is, right? It's always a slightly uncomfortable conversation, but it's not an unbearable conversation. But the question on the table is whose job is it to have that conversation? And I know what you're saying, Dustin. Of course, it's the business owner. You're the business owner. You're the one that's in charge of that kind of conversation. Well, really? Not always. You might be surprised when I come back from the break. I want to talk here about Anow Software. I mentioned 30% off 3 months. I know a lot of you have thought, well, should I do it? Should I not do it? Folks, 30% off for 3 months. Come on. What are you waiting for? Give it a shot. You will not turn back. I have over the years probably encouraged, that I've known hundreds of people that have switched to Anow. That I've not known, people have listened to this program and switched on their own without saying anything, probably thousands. But of the hundreds that I've known, one or two has said, yeah, it's not really for me. That means that there are still hundreds of people that have switched and won't turn back. Why? Because, folks, it is an amazing piece of program that will help you do everything in your office better. Keep track of your orders, keep track of what your employees are doing, keep track of your work files and your calendar and your scheduling and your fees and your income. And I could go on and on. This is an amazing product. You need to check it out if you're an appraiser. It's anow.com. And again, podcast 30 is the coupon code for 30% off your first 3 months. Welcome back to the program, everybody. We're talking about hard conversations, tough conversations that you might have with your employees, and it happens, right? There is a handful of people that I can say I've never really had a hard conversation with. One of them is my office manager right now. Never, ever had to have a conversation with her that I felt like was to encourage her to do better. I am very lucky to have her. Another one, honestly, I hate to say it because I'm not a big fan of hiring family, but is my daughter. I hired my daughter twice, and not that she got fired, that she had to leave for a while and she came back. And I've never had an issue with her. I've never had to, certainly I've done some training and correcting, but it's never been, hey, this isn't working out. It neither needs to change or we're gonna have to make a different, thankfully she's been amazing. And there's others as well. I'm not purposely trying to leave others out. There's several I can think of. But for the most part, most individuals, most people that I hire, contractors included, sometimes we have to have some difficult, challenging conversations. And the question on the table is not if you should have those conversations. It's not when you should have those conversations. It's who should have those conversations. And what I mean by that is this. I do believe in the good cop, bad cop scenario, right? There is a tactical approach to perpetrators, if you will, potential individuals that may have gotten themselves in trouble. And I know it's portrayed on the movies a certain way. I have talked to I've got 3 buddies that are cops, 2 state cops and 1 local sheriff, and I've had conversations like this with them. And I can tell you that this is a real thing, right? To take and to put somebody in a room and say, tell me what you did, you know you did it, admit it, right? That's one approach, right? Or another approach might be, tell me what you did, I know you did it, and then walk out of the room and the other guy says, yeah, that guy's a real jerk. Let's just talk. Friend to friend, let's talk. And that, sometimes that motivates people. There is this idea, and I know it's simplified when you talk about good cop, bad cop, but I want to set this up in the sense that I think that there is a reason to set that up in your own office, right? And not that I want to throw anybody else under the bus, but it's nice to have a human resources person. It's nice to have somebody that can be the bad cop, that you as the business owner can remain the good guy, the good gal, the person that people want to talk to, the person that has faith and hope in them, but yet things have to get done. Now, I am not saying that I push that off on others. I do on a regular basis, okay? But like today, there's a time when the business owner has to step in and say, hey, I've been talking to the office manager. There's some concerns here. Let's talk through them. Again, I usually take a different approach than what I'm taking there. I usually have them tell me what the issues are. And if they can't, I say, well, let me talk to you about a couple concerns that I have as well. But we put it out on the table. We talk about it. But even then, the approach can be serious, yes, professional, absolutely, and even friendly, right? Taking the approach of, hey, I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you. In fact, that's the approach I just took a few minutes before coming on the air today, is talk to me, what's going on? And she articulated the stuff that I knew was the issue. And I said, well, listen, I'm here to help you to be better. I want this to succeed. I have faith in you. I have faith in our company. I think this is a good fit, but I'm here to help you. So let's talk about what that looks like. In your business, talk to me. Who's the good cop? Who's the bad cop? What are the approaches that you're taking to help move forward in this small business scenario? Folks, this is the kind of thing that we talk about in the Masterminds. Across the nation, we have 6 Masterminds. They are currently in DC, Chicago, Nashville, Salt Lake City again, yay, we're back in Salt Lake, Dallas, and LA. And we also, of course, have an online group as well. If you're interested, please reach out to us through our website. You can reach out directly to my assistant. Just send her an email. Hey, just send it to the assistant at theappraisercoach.com. Just say, hey, I'm curious about these masterminds. Anybody that wants, if there's room, and there usually is, if there's a seat available, you are welcome to attend any of those masterminds for free your first time. We would love to invite you. Be my guest. Reach out to me, and we will make sure that we've got a seat for you.
You've been listening to the Appraiser Coach podcast with Dustin Harris. If you like what you hear, please give us a 5-star rating and post a short review on iTunes. For more in-depth insider information on how you can make more money as a real estate appraiser, visit theappraisercoach.com and sign up for the All-Star team today. Thanks for joining us. And now, get out there and create some value.